And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Enchanters. Now, Enchanters does not have like a spectacular name, and when I saw the box is very bright and colorful, but I thought, oh, another mage versus mage game. Well, not really. This game is a game in which you are making an enchanted item. It might be a pickaxe, it might be a flail, it might be a sword, and then you're combining it with some sort of enchantment of glory, of a werewolf, of a dragon, and you're making the best thing you can and fighting monsters and dragons along the way. It's a fast, kind of drafting style game. Let me show you. So this board is laid out between the players. It's not actually quite necessary, but it's just a spot where you can have these cards here. You're going to have an adventure deck, and this adventure deck is going to be made up of multiple smaller adventure decks. You can see I have the pink adventure deck and the green one and this one. And so you're going to pick one of these per player, unless you're playing with two players and you pick two per player, but you only use the cards with two on them. So let's say I take 1, 2, 3, 4 for a 4-player game. I'm going to take these 4 decks and I'm going to shuffle them together, and this is going to form the main adventure deck. So you're going to take this adventure deck, which is shuffled, and place it over here. But before you do that, you're going to place cards on the bottom, drawing from the bottom of the deck. But you're not going to put out any monsters or dragons. So here I have a helmet, a pickaxe, a fire, of poison, of a dragon, and a crown. The rest of the monsters and stuff that I did not place out, I just put on the bottom of the deck, and then the deck is placed here. You're also going to pick a village card here out of a ton of different village cards that are in this one. So Foxenfurt, Dwarfburg, Normal Town. So I'm going to pick one of these. I don't know, I'll pick North Ridge here. All right, so North Ridge is going to do a couple things. First of all, a multi-action. Anyone at any time can spend 3 crystals for 3 attack. All monsters and dragons get an extra 2 health. And you can rest and take 3 gems, or you can rest and heal 1. Also, at the end of the game, you get an extra point for every monster or dragon you kill. So this is in play here. Each player is going to get 5 crystals to start the game, and they're also going to get a Fist of Enchanting. A Fist of Enchanting does pretty much nothing, but all these cards, when put together, make a quote. You don't need an item when you have a fist that can't wait to be properly enchanted, says this combo. I also have a little card here to keep track of my attack and defense, which is 0. So on your turn, you can either rest or you can take a card. When you rest, you simply pick a rest action. There are 2 here available in the village. You might have some more available in your cards. So I can rest and take 3 gems, or I can heal 1 wound. If you do that, you also discard the first card here and move all the cards down in a line. I don't want to do that. I want to take something here. So I'm thinking I want to take the helmet. The helmet's free, so I take that. Everything else moves down. And I add a new card here. Now, I don't want to have... it doesn't matter what I want. I'm going to have only 1 item. So even though I have a fist, the helmet slides on top of the fist. And this bottom area here, if there was anything on the bottom, it would stay there. So right now I have a helmet of enchanting. You'll never lose your head because it can't wait to be properly enchanted. Now, this adds 1 to my defense. So I'm going to keep track of my defense like that. And also, on my turn, as an action, I can spend 1 gem to get 3 more defense. On my next turn, I'm going to say, I'm going to take this of fire. Now, there's 1 gem underneath that, so I need to pay a gem to take that. Again, everything slides down like this. And now, I have a helm of fire. You'll never lose your head because it burns in a fiery ring of fire. Now, this is going to add 1 to my attack, and I can now spend 2 gems to get an attack for each of my shields. Well, that's pretty cool. But maybe then later on I'll take a poison. Now when I take poison, I instantly take 6 wounds. Whew. So when you take wounds, you just take them off the pile up here, and put them in front of you. Wounds do nothing to you, but they're worth -1 at the end of the game. This also makes me lose 3 attack and gain 3 attack. So I have a net total of 1, because if you notice on the bottom here, this covers it up. Well, I don't want this -3, so maybe later on I'll take of dragon. So that covers up the -3 on top, but leaves the +3 and the +1 alone. So you can see as time goes by, you can stack things up. So maybe I'll be walking around here with a pickaxe of a dragon. Work with a pickaxe that is made from a dragon bone pelvis, to be exact. And so I have a pickaxe of a dragon. So maybe I want to fight a creature, because creatures are going to be showing up in the line also. So here I have a bandit. So let's say I want to fight this bandit. First, the bandit's going to do damage to me. He's going to hit me for 3. I look at my defense. Well, my defense is currently 2. So I will subtract 2 from the 3 and take 1 wound. Again, it's worth a -1 at the end of the game. Then I need to do 2 damage to kill the bandit. Well, that's pretty easy because I have 5 attack right now, so the bandit's dead. As soon as I take the bandit, I take 3 and everyone else loses 1 gem. He's also worth a point at the end of the game, and I stick him in a stack of monsters. And monsters are going to stack up too as you take the monsters, and usually they're going to give you points, but they might give you gain or lose other things. And there's like this monster here. He hits for 6 and he does double damage. So I better block as much as I can, because anything that gets through is going to deal extra wounds. This will continue until the entire deck is gone and all these cards are gone. And at that point, you're going to count up your points that are on some of your cards here and on the monsters that you've taken, and then any points that the village might give you. And oh, by the way, I needed 4 to kill that bandit, because all monsters in this one give +2. We'll just go through these decks real quick and show you some of the things that are in here. Goblin's what you steal from someone else. There's a dragon turtle, which is worth 4 points, but very hard to kill. There's a dragon. Dragons are much more difficult to kill. You can see this one here does 8 damage to you, 5 to kill it, and then you'll lose all your money, take 3, and everyone else loses 3. But he's worth 9 points at the end of the game. And so each of the colored decks has 1 dragon in it. And you can see there's all sorts of cool things in these decks. And there's another dragon, a green dragon. It takes 11 to kill him, but he's worth 11 points, but takes away 2 of your shields. That's how you play. The quality of each of these things, I mean, this stuff has linen finish on top of its linen finish. These are really good quality. The artwork is good too. And honestly, there's so many villages in the game. You only use 1 per game. Some give you items, but I mean, they're also going to change how the game is played. So some of them, and there's also, these are the cards, also good quality. Some of them are going to talk about money. Some don't have healing. Some don't have any special scoring. This one I like because you get 5 coins. Everyone else heals a wound. Or you can heal 2 wounds. Everyone else gets 4 coins. Either way, you're helping everybody else. So those are really nice. The cards themselves and the different decks, they're very easy to sort out when you're not using them in the game. And the 2s for a 2-player game are also really easy to see. The cards are good quality. The artwork on the cards reminds me of Hearthstone to some degree. And usually I get on the case of these things being, generic, like this is of glory, but it's a flail of glory. And I really do like to spin it round and round, and it makes you the most popular enchanter in school. Or this necklace of a wolf. It will make a nice souvenir because it grows fur on full moon nights. And so that's a lot of fun to mix those together and just have all kinds of cool things. The iconography is also very simple and very easy to do. Sometimes there's items and weapons that like this, where is it? Like this of glory gives you +1 attack, +1 defense, but it's at the top. So the next thing that you add is going to cover that up. But maybe you want to add it because it makes your bottom better. The board itself is actually a big piece of paper. That's not this one. It folds up like a map. It's garbage. I got rid of that. And this is like a Kickstarter thing, or I guess you can buy these on their website too. Like I said, you don't even need the board. It's just nice to have. The wounds and the gems are fine, although they really need to include more wounds for a 4-player game, especially if everyone's taking a lot of wounds. Other than that, though, the whole thing is really nice quality. I really had a lot of fun with this game. Now, incidentally, the feelings were mixed of the people I played it with, especially in multiplayer games. Now, I found with a 2-player game that the game is super fast and plays really well. It is best as a 2-player game, just because when you're pulling cards from that queue, if you take one, your opponent can only take one of those cards or make one of them go away if they rest. If you're playing with more players, the chance of the cards you want being there when it comes around to your turn, it's a lot more random. So this is really easily best with 2. If you do play with multiplayers, you definitely want to play with the fast variant where you take some cards out of the decks. Just makes the game go a little bit faster. And more importantly, no matter what you play, you definitely want to play with the dragon variant where there's the one dragon for each color. You take those dragons and shuffle them in the bottom half of the deck. Because if a dragon shows up in the first half, you're not going to be able to kill it anyway, so it's kind of pointless. That being said, I like this game a lot. It's really simple. I like how the villages change things up. I like how whenever you add to your enchantment or to your weapon, you have to decide, how do I want this to do? Do I want this to be, do I want to cover up this attack for this new thing? This card gives me money, like a pickaxe gives you money if you discard it. Do I want to do that? Which monsters do I want to kill? How many wounds am I willing to take? Do I think I can get rid of those wounds by the end of the game? Simple choices, and then just has this cool feeling of, I'm building this really cool item. And as I stack, it gets fun, and the quotes they work, right? Humor in card games is, it is what it is, but combining quotes means this game has a huge amount of variety. Now, I do and would like to see more, right? I would love to see more decks. I think they're coming out with another set soon that's going to have 6 more decks or something. That's fantastic. To have 12 different decks to mix and match, that seems like a lot of fun. And like I said, the brightly colored look of this, it plays really smoothly. The complaints that people had against the game who I played it with were mostly just random, right? The game was random. And again, these complaints came from those who played in a 3- and 4-player game. With a 2, that randomness goes away because you're just quickly grabbing cards. So I would say, I would rate it a 6.5, maybe a 7 with 3 or 4. But with 2, it's like an 8 because I just enjoyed it that much. That quick play, the humor, the art, and it just feels like you're accomplishing something. You have to kill a lot of monsters and try to figure out the best way to work with any particular village. The variety seems to be quite a bit in this small box. So it's a light, fun game, but one I enjoyed a lot. That is Enchanters. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.